When I was a flight attendant, I had creepy things happen a couple of times. The first was on a layover in Salt Lake City. I walked to the gas station next door to our hotel and passed two homeless men. One said, "You're really pretty," and I kept on walking. The two men followed me to the gas station and were hanging outside while I was very slowly looking around, figuring they would leave soon. The cashier went out and started arguing with them that they couldn't loiter there, and while they were distracted I left and started walking back to the hotel. They followed me back, went inside the lobby after me. I just kept walking, had a pretty good lead and quickly went upstairs for the rest of my layover. Never walked around Salt Lake City by myself again. Another time I was in Spokane and a man hissed at me from a corner saying, "Come here," and motioning with one finger like you would a cat. I quickly walked in the other direction and he got up and followed me. It was a Sunday and most places were closed, so I had to walk a couple of minutes before I found the Macy's that was open and went in. I looked around for an hour, left, and about halfway to my walk back to the hotel saw the same man again. So creepy. Third time was in Tempe outside Hooters. I was with some crew members when I went outside to smoke. It was daytime and lots of people milling around. An old lady pushing a baby stroller came walking up. When she got closer, I realized it wasn't a lady, it was a junky-looking guy with smeared makeup, dirty dress with a doll in the stroller. He started telling me that a girl like me was just the kind a man would enjoy slowly slicing up and biting. I threw out my cigarette and quickly went back in. Oh yeah, then there was the guy in Omaha that started throwing nuts at me when I wouldn't talk to him after he followed me saying, "Hey, hey." I traveled a lot, and there's a lot of crazies in the world. I generally have a bitchy look on my face, that's just how it looks when I'm not smiling, and I'm a power walker so I don't know what makes me such a target for the nuts. When I was about 10 years old, I always spent time with my buddy playing all over the neighborhood. And one time when we were playing soccer in my backyard up late in darkness, we were still able to see the ball quite clear because of the bright moon, which doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the story, FYI. So we were just messing around and trying to pull off some cool tricks. At some we kicked the ball towards the ditch that was the end of our backyard. We both were about to run after the ball until we saw a silhouette, or the outlines of a person if you will, standing in the ditch on our edge. He was holding the pole that was standing in our yard and he appeared to have a hat. I could also tell he wore a long coat. And he seemed to be facing our way. So we both stood there for 5 seconds, until we realized the both of us were seeing the same thing. So we left the ball over there and ran the hell back inside. The next day we ventured back to the ditch and see if some bushes may have fooled us because of their appearance. But there were no bushes to be found in the shape of a person. So we rechecked that evening if we could see the same thing again. But this time there was nothing to be seen. I don't know if we talked about that much later, but I brought it up a couple of months later. I said, "Hey, remember when we thought we saw that guy standing in the ditch? How did he look like to you?" I asked him this because I doubted whether he had really seen it or not, because he had tried to scare me with things before. But he described it as I had seen it too. So I suggested the both of us draw him individually. We were eager drawers and it was a thing we did a lot together. When we were done, our results were the exact same thing.